In this video, I've got a recording of a call that I had last week with Stuart Cameron, also known as Ficks. Now, Stuart is a fellow YouTuber. I'll put a link to his channel up now, and you'll also find a link in the description. And on his channel, he posts loads of videos all around the income school training course called Project 24. Now, I'm not a member of Project 24, but I've heard lots of things about it, some good, some bad. So I was keen to speak to Stuart, as he's been a member of Project 24 for quite some time, to find out exactly whether the course was worth it, what kind of stuff you get, and whether he's had any success with the course and what he's learned in terms of building his very own affiliate marketing websites. So during the call, we have a good chat about Project 24, and Stuart shares some of his experiences and thoughts on their product. And we also talk about affiliate marketing, about his websites, and about YouTube, about loads of stuff, really. So I think you're going to get some great value from the call. We share lots of tips and ideas. And yeah, if you're into affiliate marketing, or if you're thinking about signing up with Income School and joining their Project 24 course, then I think you're going to really enjoy this video. So I think that's enough intro from me. Let's roll the tape. Roll the tape. So I'm here with Ficks today. He's
Hello.
There he is. He's kindly offered to give me a bit of his time to have a chat on Skype about a few different things. You may be familiar with him. He's got a YouTube channel. I'll put a link up to that now, and obviously you'll find all the links to everything we talk about in today's video in the description. But yeah, he's got a channel over on YouTube. It's quite a small channel, but it's growing quickly. And he generally does videos all around Project 24 and Income School. So I know a lot of you follow the Income School YouTube channel, and I know a number of you are signed up with their course. So if you haven't seen his channel, I suggest you go check it out. But yeah, Ficks, why don't you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you and what you've been up to, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So, hello everybody. Thanks for having me on your channel, Alex. It's my first time doing any sort of YouTube collab, so I was quite excited when you reached out and we set this up. So I basically started affiliate marketing basically a year ago. It was the November 2018 when I posted my first post. And outside of that, I am a social worker by profession. And so I was in a pretty stressful job that started getting me to think about, I don't want a 9-to-5 type of thing to be the sole way I make money. And then I also had like an idea in my head for a website and something I thought about for several years. So basically, once I started looking up how to build some sort of online business, I think Jim and Ricky were one of the first ones I came across. They were really open and transparent, and they seemed like honest people, and I bought their course. And then last month, it's December now. Yeah, so November, that was my best month, which is to be expected from what I understand, but I crossed over $500, so I got about $700.
$700 a month. Is that coming from Amazon, or is that advertising revenue?
So it was about 200 advertising, Amazon, a little over 200, and then I get some Project 24 affiliate. So I think I had 4 or 5 people sign up.
Okay, so you counted your Project 24 affiliates in that. So aside from that, you're doing about 200 a month. So how old is your affiliate site? So
my first one is from 2018. It's a year now. That one does not nearly as good, and one of the reasons is its focuses around building an audience so I can start selling info products and slowly building an audience. And then so I bought one in February of 2018 off a Project 24 member. He had like 60 posts and drafts that he paid for. They were pretty bad, so I had to go through and edit them all up. Okay. It was like 1 or 2 cent word type of quality, and edit it all up. And that's the one it's in the pet niche, and that's slowly growing.
Okay, great. But so the majority of your earnings is now coming from the Income School affiliate program?
Yes.
Well, that's good. So you do a lot of obviously reviews on your channel about Project 24, but just in a nutshell, how would you describe your experience with Ricky and Jim's training?
Sorry, I'm at a standing desk, so when I put stuff down, I got to put it.
Yeah, you disappear. That's fine.
Yeah. So a few months before is when I bought a WordPress site. I bought it through WordPress.com, so there was like the first mistake right there.
Yeah.
I was paying.
We all do that. That's a rookie
yeah.
mistake. Everyone does it, but they soon learn. You soon learn that that's not the best place to get WordPress.
Yeah, and I just spent I put up like a 500 word post, and I would spend like hours doing, just like messing around with like the logo placement and all that kind of stuff. It looked terrible too. It was like some basic WordPress theme, and so basically once I got into income schools thing, and they have like a 60-step process, it just a big part of what I often say on the website, it's these courses aren't, or my YouTube channel, these courses aren't necessarily necessary, but if you have the money, they've saved me a lot of time.
Okay, is that because they give you this kind of structure that you can this blueprint that you can follow?
Yeah.
Because I've always said there's all the information that you need to become a successful affiliate is already out on the internet for free, pretty much.
Yeah.
You go on YouTube, go onto forums, just browse Google, you'll find enough information. But sometimes it's hard to put it all together into a logical order, into a step-by-step process that you can follow. And I guess that's what Ricky and Jim have done. They've packaged up all this information and they present it in a way that you can easily follow it.
Yeah, and what I'm also impressed about is they keep adding stuff when there's changes. So a lot of talk, I guess, in the SEO world is EAT.
Yeah.
I forget what the E stands for, but and the T, authority.
Expertise, authority, and trust, is it? Not?
Interest, yeah. I actually haven't even gone through the course yet, but
it's an important thing. Basically, you got to know what you're talking about, really, if you're writing articles.
Yeah. So fortunately, I kind of naturally did that with the two websites. I could do a better job, but it's just even finding the time to go through the time-saving courses sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll put out courses like that, and they put out a new like step-by-step for creating like a YouTube channel really fast. But it's not to say that I mean, I still make mistakes. I mean, at least my experience, I still deviate from the path and think I know something that will work better. And it's also just doing, like, even with post recipes and all that stuff, I look back to my first batch of posts that I put up, and like I've improved a lot better since doing that as well.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with everything in life. Generally, the more you do it, the better you become, and then when you look back retrospectively on your original stuff, you just go, "Oh God, what was I doing? I thought that was so good," but no, it's not. But that's just the journey of life, I guess, and just experience and by doing stuff. So, if you were to give some advice to a new affiliate or someone who was thinking about making some money online, what would you say to them?
Like for the first,
if someone said, I'm thinking about, I want to make some money online. I've heard affiliate marketing is good. I'm going to set up a niche website. What would you say to them? What would be your one bit of advice? What was the mistake that you made that you could maybe pass on?
I think waiting. So if someone said that, I'd say, "What are you doing? Still talking about it?" Waiting, and also even with like a course, focusing on the wrong things. So I think there's a lot. It would be very beneficial if I had just spent like the first 6 months only even caring about just content. I could have produced a lot more content during that time. I would deviate from that. And
what would you get sidetracked with then?
Figuring out how to like monetize better, and like, I mean, and I see it in the Project 24 forums too with newer people. They start getting obsessed with. They got like 2,000 people coming to the website, and they're trying to optimize
their ad placement and all that.
Yeah. And it happened to me too. Figuring out all this, and then I just put on auto ads. I couldn't care.
Yeah, it's better. Your one thing, just focus on the content. Don't worry too much about what your website looks like. Don't worry too much about where your ads are, how much money you're making, any of that stuff. Just keep getting the content out, keep publishing it to your site, because that's going to be what pays you off in the long term.
Exactly. Yeah. So I guess just like the fundamental thing is focus. You're focusing on one thing. There's so many things to do, and already I find, because I got the Ficks YouTube channel, I have a YouTube channel for one of my other sites, and I have two sites, and I'm now in the process of ordering content. It's really easy just to get like split in all different directions and just not know what I should be focusing on, which is usually in the end. Content is the most difficult part. Like, I can spend an afternoon optimizing some sort of monetization strategy, like setting up email or something. But and so I think that's one of the reasons why people get sidetracked. Content is probably the more difficult. Yeah, it's the hardest part.
People like to go for easy stuff. It's better to do easy stuff. But yeah, it's often the hardest tasks that pay off the best, aren't they? So, have you got any advice on creating content? Is there any? I mean, I know that with the Project 24 course, they give you, I think they're called recipes, as you've already said earlier.
Yeah.
So they kind of give you like a recipe to follow, do they? When you're creating content, how does that work?
Yeah, some sort of, and they've changed a little bit over time. So, I think Doug Cunnington on his stuff, he puts up like how to write an Amazon review, that kind of recipe. And it's fairly similar, but Doug's is more focused purely on a product. Yeah. But it's sort of, they go into kind of how to like start it, how to win snippets, and how to make it sort of flow. And so I guess the biggest piece of advice is start being a lot more mindful of the content you're consuming. And like if you're enjoying it, understanding why you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then also looking at, because Income School is pretty transparent about all their sites. So I've gone back to like one of their sites is Dirt Bike Planet, and I just look at how they're structuring posts.
Yeah.
Because I know they're doing well with that site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one question I get all the time, and it's always a big question on my channel, is how do you come up with a niche? Or niche, I should say, to the American friends. Well, you've obviously got a couple of different niches. How do you come up with a niche? Or does it not really matter? Is a niche not that important?
I would say if it's your first one, I would try not to get too hung up on it. This idea that like it's this ultimate choice and you can never go back on it. I mean, there's a good chance you're still going to mess up and make mistakes even with your first niche. And you're going to learn so much over like a year or 2 years that when you start another website, it's going to take off so much easier.
Yeah.
You're gonna have all the ducks lined up. So my first niche choice probably wasn't ideal. I think there's potential there, but right now it's dependent on building like a very specific kind of audience, and also it's in esports. So it's also depending on a certain niche industry within esports to kind of continue growing.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it's something I enjoy doing and something I thought about. So I mean, I think
that is a big part when you're choosing a niche. If you can do something that you enjoy or that you're into, that you're interested in, that makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah. And I think there's something to be said about outside of like the financial reasons for doing this. There's other like positive benefits of working on this kind of stuff in terms of like it's something I enjoy if work is stressful or anything like that. And it gives me like, it feels like I'm working on like a hobby.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know how to a job. Yeah. If you choose a niche that you're completely not interested in and whatever, that's going to make it a lot harder, isn't it, to come up with ideas for content and actually want to work on it.
Yeah.
So I guess the takeaway there is choose something that you like. And we've all chosen bad niches. It's just one of those things that happens. You can never be 100% sure whether a niche is going to be a good niche or a bad niche, however much research you do. And you can get stuck doing that research and trying to figure out which niche is going to be best. But sometimes you just got to jump in with both feet, start working on it, and time will tell whether it's going to be the niche for you. That chat I had with Carl the other week, I don't know if you saw that video. If you didn't, I'll put a link obviously down in the description. He had to ditch one of his sites that he'd put a lot of work into. But yeah, Jim and Ricky from Income School, they took one look at it and said, look, no, the competition on this is just too big. It's in the health sector, so again, that makes it more challenging. And whatever you do, it's just going to always be a struggle. So walk away from that one and move on to the next.
And I guess a practical step, as something I've done or advised people who've asked me, is Human Proof Designs, their website. They have pre-made niche websites, and just looking at those gives you an idea of what people. I mean, they're in the industry. They're trying to sell websites that hopefully make money. So. I mean, it's not like they're just coming up with this stuff out of nowhere. And so they have ideas. And I got an idea for, I was actually going to buy one of their pre-made websites. It's all to do with log splitting, because my wife's family they bought a cottage and they have a log splitter up there. And so in my head, I thought, well,
what's a log splitter? Isn't that an axe?
Oh, like automatic ones where it's like all pressure.
There's a machine that you can you just throw logs into it and it does it.
Yeah, it's like you can get ones that they're just like electric powered, and it's just like pressure that like squeezes the log in. And in my head, I figured, well, these are more expensive items, and we have a log splitter at the cottage, and I can get a bunch of pictures and possibly a few YouTube videos. Yeah. So I can build up a little. It was just something I figured out. And
that sounds very niche, though. But yeah, those kind of things, they work well, don't they? Sometimes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So, Tell us a little bit about your YouTube. How did you get into YouTube? Why did you get into YouTube? I say your channel is very Project 24 focused, but I guess you're going to move on and talk about other things. Tell us a little bit about why and how and all the rest of it with your YouTube.
Yeah, so I think somewhere close in the new year of this year, Income School put out an affiliate, and I thought, well, probably the best way to start capturing that, I don't want to build a blog all around this. Because basically, like, you would just have to build a blog about starting online businesses, and that seems extremely competitive.
Yeah.
And then so I thought, well, I want to make a YouTube channel for my first website, and this is a really good opportunity to A, start practicing, and B, start capturing hopefully some affiliate commissions if people are looking for like Project 24 reviews. And I shot it. With my camera. My first video, I didn't even have a screen capture. And it's gotten I don't know why people watch it. It's just me talking and glancing over at a computer screen. And I used like a second camera's flashlight to shine light on my face. And since there, it's grown. And it was almost, it's kind of like a diary. So it forces me to keep track of everything. And also, like, at times I think like the affiliate commissions are nice. And so I don't want to start slowing down my websites, and I want to continuously make videos where there's some sort of steady growth.
Yeah, so because if you're successful, then you'll sell more Project 24s, won't you? If you're able to build some success following their course, then obviously people are going to take your recommendation and sign up for the course.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, like, I would like to branch out, and so I have a list of video ideas to do. And my kind of, should I go into my long-term goal with it?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. What is your plan with your affiliate sites, with YouTube, with life in general? So I guess you're still working as a social worker, are you?
So I can. I guess the start of becoming more entrepreneurial was I went to University of Toronto for a Master's of Social Work. The second year, I was in a smaller sort of, I guess they call it stream, which is social entrepreneurship and innovation. That appealed a lot more to me. It's more like progressive in that field in terms of like mixing capitalism with social work. So a big focus is around like social enterprises and things like that. So using the free market to actually solve a lot of social problems, which is what's happening. Like technology is solving a lot of problems for people, whether it's like the elderly with Alzheimer's or anything like that. And so that was the first like sort of switch, I guess, of, it would be very nice to be able to be in my own organization one day or do something myself. And so I think, and then from there I went into child protection, because when you're looking for work, those places are always hiring. And I mean, as you can imagine, it was stressful. And it was also, it's in Ontario, which is where I am in Canada. It's not technically a government run, but they're like a middle person. They just carry out the legislation for the government, and just the bureaucracy of being in working for the government, it started to drive me crazy. Yeah. It made the work impossible to do. And right around the time I left is when they put in the government spent $180 million developing this new provincial-wide software. And it looked like something out of the like 90s internet. You had to use an outdated version of Internet Explorer to run it.
Oh, because it didn't work on the newer versions.
Oh, and it was so cumbersome. And I just realized like you're just at the mercy of all these levels of bureaucracy, and it drove me crazy. And that's when I really started searching for other stuff. And so when I joined Project 24, it inspired me to become a lot more entrepreneurial. Then I started looking into doing therapy in private practice, because I realized that that's sort of what I liked the most about what I was doing before, is a lot more one-on-one stuff. And so with this channel, bringing in sort of like a social work mindset is I would like to grow it. So I bought a domain called Online Social Good. I would like to somehow, this is like 5-8 years down the road when things are a lot better, but somehow start accessing like different resources or people within the affiliate marketing community to either like raise money for charities or things like that, and start helping out, targeting different social problems. and that could
that
be
sounds very good. Yeah.
yeah. And so so I do have I registered not for profit, and the sort of short term or first goal is to start, I don't know, using like 5 or 10% of my affiliate marketing income to start putting towards that and seeing if it's even a good model, I guess, to test out.
I think it could have some legs, definitely. If you can convince some people to share some of their affiliate earnings for good causes, I guess that would be the biggest hurdle.
Yeah, and to agree on the causes.
Yeah. There's going to be a bit of that going on, but yeah, that sounds like a very so. But personally, how are you going to free your time and do that? I guess through affiliate marketing and through having success with your niche sites. I mean, is there a goal with those sites maybe in a few years to sell them, or are you going to just keep them? Or I don't know. What do Ricky and Jim recommend on the long-term plans with these sites?
I'm not really sure. That's a good question.
They don't often sell their sites. They kind of keep hold of them, don't they?
I think there's been a bit. Yeah, they actually Jim. I always get their names. Yeah, is it Jim?
There's Jim and Ricky. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget which one's which sometimes. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So Jim had improved photography, and that was one of his best sites that from like years ago. And I think he just sold that. And I'm assuming for like quite a bit, because at one point it was making like $500,000.
Yeah, that would get a few pounds. Yeah.
Wow. And I know he's bought a site. Like he bought a thing called Knife Up. He fixed it all up and then sold it for quite a bit. Sort of like flip. Yeah, he did like a flip
on
I think
it.
Yeah. So I think ultimately the pet one I would like to get to a point to build, but I'm not sure. It's going to be when it gets to a point to sell for a good chunk of change. I could see myself also really enjoying that monthly earnings. So.
Yeah, I think there's always going to be that trade-off, isn't there, between keeping the nice ongoing income, but then websites do need a bit of maintenance every month, don't they? A bit of work, not too much if you've done it well. But yeah, that once they start earning, they can become very valuable assets to sell, can't they? That's the thing.
So I guess my sort of first milestone is to start to get to $100 a day, because that would take care of like a mortgage and most of like the kind of bills, maybe not food, but it's certainly a survivable income. And so that would free up so much space. It would take a lot of pressure off of having to do my like day-to-day job purely to pay for all that kind of stuff. And then, if a site ever got to a point where it would pay off a mortgage, I would definitely sell it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you have to take that lump sum. Okay. Well, I don't know. Is there anything else you'd like to say? I mean, I do encourage everyone to go and have a look at your channel, especially if you're interested in Income School and their Project 24 course. The 24 that's how long they recommend you wait or you work on your site before you get any success. That's the 24, isn't it?
Yeah, 24 months to replace income, but it's kind of that term is relative. What replace income means, like for a full-time income.
Yeah. And I think that's just one of the key messages with this affiliate marketing. A lot of people think it's a kind of get-rich-quick sort of scheme, but it's certainly not. It's a slow burn. It's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of patience. And I think that's what makes Income School different to a lot of the other guys that are selling courses. And I was going to ask, have you bought any other courses from anyone else ever?
No. Oh, I haven't gone through it, but Human Proof Design had an Amazon affiliate course for like $7 during the Black Friday sale. So.
Okay, that doesn't count. That's a small one. But a lot of the business gurus, and you see them all over YouTube and other places, like people like Ty Lopez and those guys, that they have big courses to sell, but they always seem to make it out that it's easy, which I guess they would do because that's how they sell their courses. That it's kind of easy. Once you know the blueprint, you can just copy what they've done, and it's kind of easy to make money online. And I guess that's the difference, that Income School don't do that, because they make it very clear that this kind of stuff is not easy, and it does require work, and it does require patience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what appealed to me as well. And I like one of my hobbies is strength training. It goes in waves in terms of how committed I am to it. But I remember coming across a guy, Stan Efferding. He does bodybuilding and powerlifting, and he's quite a wealthy business person, like brick and mortar businesses. But he had a saying on one of the podcasts around, like, if people into bodybuilding applied that kind of mindset to a business, they would be able to build quite a wealthy business over like the course of 5 or 10 years. And so that, and that just makes sense to me, because a lot of times fitness goals can be like, you got to think 3 to 5 years if you want to like be able to get to a certain strength point, or even, I mean, even weight loss can take a while, especially if you're doing it slowly. But so it just made sense to me that these are things that you chip away at for a long time.
You keep working at it and it'll pay you off in a year, 2 years, 3 years time. Yeah.
Yeah.
There isn't any quick fixes for any of these things, is there really?
No.
For money, for fitness, health and all that, then they're not an overnight. There's not an overnight solution. You have to work at them over periods of time. You have to commit and not give up. I guess that's the thing. And it's easy to be knocked on these things, isn't it? You know, you maybe don't make as much money, or your website loses some traffic one month, or in fitness you don't lose that weight as quickly as you thought you were going to, and that can be demotivating. I guess that's something. Have you got any tips for that in terms of if something happens and you get knocked, how do you pick yourself up and carry on, or just go, oh, doesn't work and I'm just going to go and get a job again?
Oh, well, that was one of the benefits of I almost quit my first site. I had a real like morning. I remember just having a morning of that. Just it was I was quite like sad about it all, and I thought I just wasted all this time on my number one site. And so I went to the forum of Project 24, and I posted that, and I like asked people to check it all out, and that was actually quite motivating. People are giving me ideas and to keep going. So that is certainly a benefit of being part of some sort of community. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be a community you pay for, but I would recommend being part of some sort of community, because isolating yourself can be, that can become.
And by its very nature, this kind of work is isolating, isn't it? You're at home, you don't go out much, you sit in your office or at home or whatever, and you chip away. And sometimes it's good just to talk about your projects and whether it's going well or not going well. It's good just to share that, and so I guess that's one of the big benefits of their course of Project 24 is the community, which I've never really been involved in because I'm not a member. So how big is the community? Is active? Is it? There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's it's like a Discord style server. I think they're switching the whole platform though, like of their whole membership side of things, to make it a better experience. But it's like a Discord's forum, and there's just you get a lot of beginner questions and like intermediate stuff, and then what I like about it, it's kind of I'll put up a question that I could probably end up spending about 45 minutes on Google trying to figure out, but I can just ask someone who already knows either the best resource or like a quick fix around it. And so that's definitely been, a big help.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing all this with us today. Obviously you'll find links to Project 24 and everything in the description, as I've said. Do go check out Ficks' channel. Again, links all over the place. You'll be able to find that. Go watch some of his videos for the real insight into what's going on with Project 24 and how he's getting on and all that. I know that you've got a few clickbaity kind of titles on some of your videos, but that's fine. Like Project 24 is a complete scam or whatever. You got something like that, but that's fine. We'll do that. It gets the clicks. It gets the clicks. That's fine. And thanks for joining me. And by the way, if you want to get involved in another community, there's a fantastic Facebook group for WP Eaglers, which you're more than welcome to come and join and chat with us in there. But for now, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alex.
So that brings the end of this video. I hope you found it useful, and I hope you're now clear in your mind whether Project 24 is going to be for you. If it is, or you want to find out more information, I'll put a link up now, and I'll put a link in the description. It is, of course, an affiliate link, so I really appreciate it if you use it. I will earn a small commission. And thank you very much. If you're already a Project 24 member, I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a comment below. I do read all the comments that I get, and I'll try my best to reply to as many as I possibly can. If you're not already subscribed, you can do so by clicking on my face. Why not check out my vlog channel? Click on my other face. There's a couple of other videos. They've been chosen specially for you, so I hope you enjoy them. Until next time, bye for now.